Team Falcons taking on Space Station. For many people, the most anticipated matchup of round number 1. SSG been rallying of late, looking stronger and stronger, but so have the Falcons.
Yeah, in my power rankings, Falcons, I have them as one of the 3 favorites here. They looked fantastic in Copenhagen. They go back to Mina, and they look unbeatable yet again. Falcons are here to win a major. They are not here to just make top 8, to make top 4. They want to do what they couldn't do last time in London and actually win the grand final.
Okay, I misspoke. That was game 2 over there. But let's talk about this Mina team. This is my team to win this whole thing. I know it's way too early to throw that out there, but...
in the stats department, it's so consistent. We're like, these are flukes, right? And then they were not flukes. LJ continuing to dominate the tops of the leaderboards.
I mean, the offensive MVP of the World Championship last year. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
Exactly.
And that was, a lot of that was against a Mina team as well. So
yeah, exactly. He also always brings it to the table. But when you talk about his SSG team, you know what LJ can do. You know how proficient he can be. But it's really, in my estimation, you got to go to Hoxer, Gibbs. You got to go to Hoxer and let him really... You just gotta see where you're gonna get. Are you gonna get a Hoxer that's gonna elevate? You're gonna Hoxer that's gonna make plays. Are you gonna get a Hoxer who's just gonna sit back and let the game come to him?
Yeah, I got Falcons here. You know, last time TRK was here in London, they almost pulled it off, and I think that this TRK would have pulled it off. I think this TRK, with as much as he's matured over the last couple of years, that Falcons team wins it all then. I think they're gonna win here.
So I have Falcons. They were my 3rd best team going into the tournament. They're probably my favorite that I want to win. I would love to see Mina just hoist that trophy. So I'm going to go Falcons, and I'm going to be rooting for them hard.
Okay.
SSG, they're a great squad, but I haven't seen them beat a G2. I haven't seen them beat a Gen G consistently. G2, they did go game 7 with them 2 times, but you got to get over the hurdle. You can't beat G2. I don't think you could beat Falcons. I'm sorry. I got to go with Mina right here. I got to go with the Falcons.
I would love to see the Middle East take the win here as well. What a story that would be. This is the building where they came the closest previously. They made it to the grand finals. Not this Falcons roster, but the Falcons organization up against Moist out there. That was 2 years ago, and yet they were so close yet so far. You know that they want to make it. This is where it starts. I've got the Falcons on this one as well. We'll see what happens here, folks. 64% of you think that the Falcons got it. There's a clear favorite here, but SSG, they have forced upsets before. Can they do it again? We saved the best match of round 1 for the end here, folks. Strap in. Maybe we'll finally go to Champions Field. Mina versus North America. Falcons versus SSG to close out round 1.
2 teams and 1 dream. Make it out of Swiss and see the crowd here at the Copper Box. The Falcons stole the hearts of everybody in Rocket League with a top 8 finish in Copenhagen, but SSG, they have been so short-handed in every performance we've seen, but finally, we get them on land. Can they live up to the hype?
Yeah, it wasn't too easy for SSG getting here. There was a quarterfinals appearance in the final open qualifier of the season in North America, but finally, they made it through to LAN and once breaking their quarterfinal curse against G2 and Gen G. And they can be a dangerous opponent. They've got players who are more than capable of taking the fight to Team Falcons, but this is not the start they wanted. I assume Ras was going to score, but he's missed it.
It's a fair assumption. It looked like it was going to go through, but you can't discount Space Station. Also, it is early stages. Falcons trying again, though. Here comes Ruas trying to go past Hoxer, and there it is. The Hoxer defense we were all waiting to see coming out in the early stages of game 1.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to do a lot more than that over the next few minutes, though. But here he comes down forwards. Killers almost gets an own goal there onto the post. It's a little bit shaky so far from Falcons. We had the Ruas miss, then the Killers almost open goal, or sorry, almost own goal. I can't speak. I'm shocked. This is all a bit odd, but a minute gone, no goals.
It's not quite the start people, I think, would have expected from Falcons, but granted, when you've got your eyes on Space Station, this team has waited so long to finally have the opportunity to compete on land together. They fell just short at Copenhagen. Everybody, like we heard Gibbs made mention to, had them in their top 4, top 3 even. Pros all across NA felt like they deserved a chance to step up and prove themselves, and they finally earned that opportunity, and it seems to be going well.
Last time around, Team Falcons only lost to Gentlemates, who went on to win the entire thing. So another extremely dangerous Swiss opponent, and Hoxer makes another huge save. Ruas asks Hoxer again. So many saves. He's racking them up so far. Gets his team into a counter. Here's LJ. Almost gets the flip reset. In comes Ruas. So Space Station on the counter are showing some fangs, but so far it's Team Falcons that looks a little bit more likely to get this opening goal.
Yeah, it's definitely just been Falcons trying to hold SSG back for now, but they get the breakaway. It was LJ up on the front there. And just 2 minutes into this match, nobody has found their way through any net. TRK from the ceiling tried to carry this one down. It's a great sense of pressure from one to the other, but immediately SSG gets sent back mid.
And Team Falcons, despite one or two unlikely mechanical errors for a team that have gone flawless this season, are spreading out well. They're not looking overawed by the occasion. They look like they're capable of taking this fight to Space Station Gaming as expected. Space Station Gaming have been growing into this one. They're starting to get some time in the blue half. It's exactly what they would have wanted, and I think they'll be happy with how this game has started.
I would be very happy if I was on Space Station right now. I think they look very in control of themselves, which is a good thing. You don't want this ball to get away from you and feel uncomfortable. Great save there from Chicago. The pressure, though, is just too much. Killers forces this one through.
Finally, Falcons get their goal. Chicago did all right, but his clearance wasn't quite good enough. And while Hoxer got a touch, it wasn't to be the block he needed. Team Falcons, they have that goal. Maybe that will settle their nerves, because I'd say in the macro they were playing okay. The micro, the decision-making wasn't quite there for them until that moment. Now suddenly Killers has the ball. He gets the challenge towards Ruas. It could be too early doors, and it is.
This is the Falcons that everybody was expecting to see in those first few minutes of this game one. A very quick and speedy and high-pressure team that just catches the defense off guard. And, well, now if you're Space Station, you're down by 2. You got to find a way to kind of get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I'd say that Hoxer is the player they'll be looking to, but not if he concedes a third from the kickoff. It's suddenly a disaster from Space Station.
This is not what you want. It was just Hoxer's positioning on that one was a little off, and it made Chicago just too late. And unfortunately, it just extends that lead continuously. Now 3-0, less than 2 minutes to go.
We do have the twins on Team Falcons. All of them incredible 1v1 players as well for this team, so no surprise that kickoffs they have locked down. And right, this may well be the quickest 4 goals after no goals I think I've ever seen.
This is what OG thought they were going to do in those last 16 seconds.
Yeah, that's what they were talking themselves through after the tech pause, yeah. Wasn't quite to be for them, but Team Falcons, I mean, wow, that's how you continue momentum.
Yeah, they command it. I feel like they've been doing this since Copenhagen. It's very obvious that this team, once they figure someone out, they find a way to make someone slightly uncomfortable in positioning. They just continue on with it. This one from the backboard down. It's just another pass, a floater from the crossbar, and Killers just to finish it and keep it going. 5-0. Could we see a Brazil?
I mean, we might see more than that at this point, because, I mean, there was one demo from Ruas as he was rotating out, and Space Station, everything fell apart from them in that moment. There was no answer to that Team Falcons decision-making. And yeah, it's 5. This one's dead. I think if I'm Space Station, I'm trying to think of taking some momentum into game 2, get something going, but it's proving impossible. They can't even touch the ball at the moment, Hercules.
No, they've made Space Station so far away from this ball. This is the most we've seen. It's an attempt to pass from one to the other, all the way to the end of the field. Here comes LJ with a shot, and that's the player that really most people's eyes are on to try and take control of this game, but the longest clear on Earth doesn't find its way in, but a minute left. Might be too much.
Yeah, I was just thinking, is that going to be 6? Is that going all the way in? But nah, Space Station Gaming had it covered. Far be it from me to question their defending. I think the biggest issue that they've shown is that kickoffs is something that Falcons are miles ahead of them at. But also momentum play. Team Falcons, as you mentioned, once they do get that bit between their teeth, they just don't stop. The shooting was, I'd say the warning signs were there at the start of this game, but I'm just confused what this has turned into. It didn't start like this.
No, it didn't. And I think one of the biggest differences that I've noticed from the first half of this game to this last minute or so is Space Station's third man is very close up to that midfield line. I think Falcons have taken notice, and they know that sending 2 people up, forcing that 50 and winning it, these are easy centers to just keep taking shots for themselves. There's the other center. This one goes through. It's exactly what I said. It's just outpacing Space Station and teeing each other up for one goal after the other.
It's tiny bumps as well. I feel like Space Station just seems to be going, either by coincidence or by design, completely on Falcons' rotation line. So they go, oh, I'll get a little nudge at you. And that's just taking the defender out of the game enough for Falcons to get something else. 7-0. and I feel like I've barely even blinked. I feel like I've barely even taken stock of the situation of this game. It could be 8. It will be 8. It won't be 8, not quite. But just, what? This is a complete collapse.
Yeah.
My brain's still catching up with what I'm seeing here.
It's a tough thing to process if you're an SSG fan, especially because you know that there's so much more that could come from them than what we're seeing right now. I know that this is not what they wanted, you know, to put out onto the field.
I hope not. I hope this isn't what they wanted.
I hope this isn't it.
Not part of the plan.
There's a lot of time left in the series to come back, but I do got to give the credit to the Falcons. 7-0 in Game 1 is extremely impressive and just a continuation of the consistency that we saw back in Copenhagen.
Yeah, they all got on the... Actually, they didn't even get on the scoreboard. TRK didn't get himself a goal in that one, just Killers.
He didn't need
with
to.
five goals for Killers. I'm curious how many games we've had 5 goal scorers in. If anyone's got Killers in the fantasy, you'll be very happy right now. That has given you a huge lead. In a 7? It was 7. Did I lose count? It was 7. It was 7. A 7-goal game for Team Falcons, and I am shook. TRK got 124 points. He was chilling. He was watching.
He was like,
he was one of the eggs on the side.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the twins just celebrated their birthday, so this could also be like a birthday buff thing.
I see.
There's all the, you guys want to talk conspiracy theories? There's one.
Well, 7 goals to none. I mean, we're going to run out of highlight time here in the Mobile 1.
It's really just a montage for them to post later.
Yeah, I mean, for Space Station, though, I mean, we need to be a little bit serious. There were some disappointing kickoffs from them, and then I think you're right. I think they tried to chase the game a little bit too much rather than just getting themselves into the series, and suddenly you can see a couple more. It's 4, it's over, suddenly it's 5. You know, I think that's what happened there.
Yeah, I think right now Space Station is just a little bit uncomfortable. Granted, it is first land for them, right? It's been this huge build-up to this moment. Pressure could also just be a bit much right now, and you got to kind of get back into the swing of things. I think the last time we saw these Space Station players was at the last World Championship, and it was a top 8 placement, I believe, so it's been a while, and it's fair to say, you know what, refresh, game number 2, it could be a new dawn, new day.
All right, we'll give them 1. I mean, I'm not quite sure I buy that, considering, you know, they're all experienced.
I'm trying to give
a little bit of enabling there for Space Station Gaming. I think they should be a little bit disappointed with that first game, losing by 7. But game 2 has started off with Team Falcons in the ascendancy yet again. TRK wants to get involved into this one. Killers tries to go around this ball, and my big question is, are Space Station Gaming able to get the ball away from their goal? Because as soon as there was a 50-50 or a challenge, it just seemed that Falcons could manipulate where it went, and they'd score from it pretty much every time as double flip resets are coming in now.
I think right now SSG has to be, and I'm sure that they are, extremely aware of how mechanical every individual player on the Falcons are. And I think on the opposing end, a lot of people tend to just say LJ is that extremely mechanical player. It feels like it's like a 1v3 in this situation almost. But Chicago and Hawks are extremely talented in ones in their respective rights as well. But I feel like it could be a case of almost like coming down to these 1v1 challenges where Team Falcons just beat out SSG every time.
I don't mind this at all as well. Space Station Gaming are not trying to outdo Team Falcons for pace. They're not letting their egos play the game right now. They've made a conscious decision to slow things down, I feel. Roaslo, if he beats Chicago here, suddenly Falcons could be in on the counter. Chicago's in, gonna get the pass towards Hoxer. No, it's wrong. Now it's 2v1. TRK over the top of Hoxer. This could be a continuation of the disaster of Game 1 for Falcons. If they can finish it here, it's a great touch defensively. I mean, even before the goals last time, Hoxer was getting triple saves, so he is key, I'd say, for Space Station.
I absolutely agree. We heard Gibbs made mention on the desk. Hoxer has the capability to make these miracle plays that impact this team so much, but same can be said for Killers. From Game 1 to Game 2, he just continues to find his way into the SSG side.
Oh, look at that, the flip reset, and just the control that he shows there from almost a floating, standing start, barely any momentum, and still able to send that ball into the top corner. It's brilliant there from Killers.
He just looks so confident and at ease almost. It almost feels like there are no nerves right now for the Falcons, where on the likes of SSG, there is a lot of pressure to perform, and because you've had yourselves hyped up for so long and you finally made it, it is a little bit rougher in the sense, but right now finding any sort of space to make a play is what you want, and Falcons aren't allowing that.
Killers is going to send this one to the side where TRK is waiting. Still yet to score, TRK. That might change here. He gets around it. It's almost there. It's off the post. Chicago has to stay alert. He does. They stay alive. Space Station Gaming have avoided doing what happened in game 1, which conceding one, they're conceding immediately from the kickoff. Now they're yet again in a game.
This is very intense, seeing two Falcons players go up and try and almost harass that last man on defense, but it's a great breakaway here from LJ up over to Hawkster to the backboard. It's double tap opportunity, but it's down on the goal line save from Killers.
A sign potentially of things to come though for Space Station Gaming. Killers has no boost, still beats his opponent to the ball. Chicago's been lingering, it's good play. TRK up against Hawkster, Hawkster gets the dunk, in comes LJ! Space Station have their equalizer.
This is who you want to see scoring if possible, but even better than that is the sheer amount of teamwork that it took to get this ball not only towards the net, but into it. Finally, Space Station onto the board, tie things up, looking a lot better than they did in game 1.
Yeah, Team Falcons, not impenetrable, but you have to put in so much work to get even a shooting chance against them, let alone a goal. That indeed has happened. Hoxer sends it long, follows it to the ceiling. Hoping Roas will make a mistake here. Roasto knew exactly what TRK wanted. So the ball to fall to him. Big demo comes in from Hoxer on TRK. Roas gets away with it again. Suddenly it seems like Team Falcons are the one that are a little bit low on boost. And Space Station are starting to dictate.
Space Station are looking a lot quicker in rotations to getting to this ball. TRK tried to 50 this one forward. And LJ and Chicago were back on it, and there it is. Hawkster immediately back up and over to Chicago, and that's what you want to see. So much quicker with the connections on this ball, forcing Falcons to be a little bit slower and methodical.
Hawkster's getting a lot of time in the blue half. The pass is good. So's the second one. LJ scores.
I love this play because this is very reminiscent of what we saw before, which is the back and forth play style between each other to get bobbing and weaving through the defense. They realized the 1v1s were not working. Right now, unfortunately, Space Station can't win a 1v1 on the Falcons, but they can win a 2v1.
Yeah, they can. The passing plays seem to be key for Space Station Gaming. Having the bravery to play in front of the ball as well. Hoxer, potentially the key, but here comes Ruas down the other side. Still a minute remaining. Space Station Gaming ain't won nothing yet. CRK sends that one back to the center, leaves it for Killers. Chicago on the sidewall. LJ just chasing Ruas, trying to block him as much as possible. He and TRK combined to just smush that ball to the side. One more for Space Station would be lovely, and these bumps are important.
Yeah, these bumps are actually very impactful as far as the Falcons are concerned in slowing Space Station down and trying to recreate opportunity, but Space Station has the same idea. The bumps are coming through. 30 seconds left to go. Can Falcons tie things up?
Ball's loose in the center. It's won there by Chicago. Excellent pace from the experienced man on the Space Station Gaming team. Ruas has TRK in front of him. TRK is trying to bully LJ. LJ wriggles out of that one, sends it forwards again. 10 now. Team Falcons have to score now, or they concede this second game. Ruas, he beats him. TRK's almost there. TRK's waiting in front. He's chasing down the defender. Killer's over the top. LJ holds his nerve. LJ makes his statement. Space Station Gaming have almost taken game 2. Now they have. They're right back in it.
Signs of life from a team that looked hopeless in game number 1. Game 1, 7-0. Game number 2, only a 1-goal deficit for Falcon. Space Station take the lead and hold on to it in the last remaining moments of that game number 2. Huge improvement there, but you gotta make mention to LJ. He was everywhere all at once, and that is exactly who you want to have signs of life.
Yeah, ominous for Team Falcons as well. 666 points there for LJ. If that's not a statement, then I'm not quite sure what is from him. I mean, he was looking like a demon on the pitch as well. I mean, he was making saves, he was getting goals, but when Killers scored this one, I was thinking, oh boy, this is going to be Team Falcons to lose.
I think Space Station have become much more aware of how much they were starting to feed Killers, and the fact that TRK would go up so much for those bumps. Now being able to transition out of it was a great sign from SSG, but an even greater sign was how well they worked together to get around the defense. They figured a plan out, they found a way to create their own space, but I don't know, I'm scared the Falcons might have taken note of that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll see maybe a slightly tweaked style of Falcons here. I mean, they'll still be uber aggressive. They'll still be looking to score 5, 6, 7 goals if they possibly can, although, of course, that's not always manageable for them. But maybe that the balance will be a tad different, because they did let gaps behind them there that Space Station Gaming expertly utilized, for the record. But it does lead to a very intriguing game 3.
Oh, game number 3 has officially commenced, and it starts out with a demo and an air dribble through from none other than LJ, the one that everyone was waiting to wake up on offense. He is officially here.
Oh, that is lovely. Reminiscent of Killer's goal in the last game, just pushing it upwards into that top right corner. And suddenly it's Space Station Gaming that are making all the statements. What a start from them in game 3.
That is a great start for SSG. Can they turn this into 2? It's a slow play from Hawkster. Tried to get the ground 50. This one goes out in a pinch. Lets Falcons take their transition.
It's crazy because watching game 1, you feel like that game could have lasted half an hour and Space Station Gaming wouldn't have even made a dent. And then now, a couple of games later, suddenly they are looking like the superior team. But Team Falcons have managed to build themselves back up. There's almost a boost steal there from Killers. He might not even need it. Gets it over the goal line. So was alert. LJ's just waiting. Trying to get himself involved again as Hoxer goes to the backboard. Ruas takes it away. It's down to the more nitty-gritty of the game, which Team Falcons will like. They'll like these challenges, these 50s. They'll feel that's a gameplay they can be superior in.
Yeah.
Ruas goes forwards, and he gets it.
I was going to say, you talk about how the Falcons want to almost be challenged. It kind of forces them to step up and be a little bit more aggressive, because there you have it again. It was TRK all over the field. He goes for one demo on the left side, then swaps into the center, says, I'll get the bump. Everybody, your one goal is keep that ball moving forward. And the plan worked out great. Now he's going to try and get one of his own. Tries to go low on LJ. This one not quite through, and it remains a tied game.
I feel like Team Falcons certainly seem to have some of the fastest comms in the game. I'll continue in a second because LJ, this is continuing his one-man mission against Team Falcons.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this player to wake up. I wanted to see LJ on land, the musty through as well to get the power on that one, almost 100 kilometers per hour on it too. Space Station, they put themselves in a lead once again, no longer struggling to find responses.
Chicago now at the right side. And we'll go for Space Station, which just gives them a little bit more comfort. LJ takes another touch. We've seen some supreme performances today. First from Yan earlier on, and now from LJ with Ruas and Killers in the middle of it as well. Individuals are stepping up today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want to talk crazy individual performances, you got to even shout out players like Banana Head earlier in the day as well with OCE.
For sure.
Taking a win there. It is a crazy time for change right now.
Here comes Ruas, a man more than capable, but Hoxer prods it forward to Chicago, who can't quite get his shot on target. Killers had to avoid Chicago. Now Hoxer takes control of the situation, has the flip reset, does he? Leaves it to Chicago again, so the comms remain high from Space Station Gaming. Here is LJ, a full tank of boost. This is danger right now for Team Falcons. This time he just spoons it above the Team Falcons goal. He's trying to get some bumps too, so Space Station Gaming refusing to be bullied, getting some nudges and demos of their own now. Yeah,
they're looking so much more confident in what they are doing as far as challenging is concerned. They don't look uncomfortable by any means. Even with this transition coming from the Falcons, they're prepared defensively. Chicago, great touch there. TRK up next, and the backboard covered not by one, but by two.
They're teaming up Space Station Gaming. Always backing up their buddies. Here's Hoxer to the ceiling, though. He wants to go solo. Killers is up for that. TRK might beat Chicago here. He just lets Chicago miss, in fact. Killers chain dashing his way to try and get behind Ruas. Ruas is the man that takes control of the ball. Now it's Killers wanting to keep Team Falcons on this unbeaten streak that they've had since Copenhagen. There's TRK. There's a double fake there, but Chicago just nips the ball away. And all of these smart plays from Team Falcons, they're not quite falling for them. The last touch isn't there time after time. That might change now, but it's blocked by Chicago. He is causing so much kerfuffle for Team Falcons defense right now.
Beautiful run. There's a lot of kerfuffle, but there's also a lot of patience. And I feel like that is where Space Station are thriving against the Falcons right now. You made mention, Falcons are trying to come up with these like tricks and plays to throw SSG off, and SSG are just saying, if you wait a few moments, this ball will land into us, and then that transition out will be so much easier. And that's what we've seen time and time again.
It's like they let them tucker themselves out in that first game, and now they're reaping the rewards. But Team Falcon's still dangerous. Killers tees up with his teammate. I was going to fall to Ruas to the backboard. Beautiful control from him. Leaves it this side for TRK. The shot's there. It's almost good. LJ not just gets the save, also sends it forward. Does so much work. That is gorgeous from LJ.
This is such a great play for a number of reasons. It's not just the fact that LJ set up Chicago, but that pass to force Killers down to 0 boost, knowing that goal became wide open, and it was just a comfortable shot. Space Station go up by 2.
Space Station Gaming looking so much more now like their online selves, but Falcons come back. Killers has a chance. Killers puts them back in it. This game ain't over.
This is not over yet. Just under a minute to go. Falcons respond just moments after getting scored on, forcing Space Station to stay in luck.
Now, we did see in game one about 6 kickoff goals in a row. Can Team Falcons dig just one more out? It's a default kickoff that's lost on purpose by Space Station towards LJ. Ruas reads it. TRK goes forward. He gets a demo as well. Chicago has to get this read and does. Ruas heads back. Chicago uses all of his boost just to send it back to the blue half. One more chance. You sense is coming up soon. Ruas at the edge will bump attempt. Instead, it's going to be a double tap. So much in his locker. Falls to Killers. Team Falcons keep coming.
Extremely low boost, though, for Team Falcons, and Hawks are taking note of that. Even on low of his own, tries to make that transition out. Immediately sent back. LJ there to collect. And with 30 seconds left to go, Killers from the air. TRK trying to match him, but right now the Falcons, they seem to just be playing catch-up, trying to match the pace of SSG. It's shot opportunity denied, and SSG hold on to their 1-goal lead.
There was one imperfect touch from Ruas, and Space Station almost got the 2-goal lead back. Just waiting for a key mistake, a key error. Might not happen in the attack, though, for Falcons, but Hoxer, he gets it away. 1 second now. Ruas, he dunks it forwards. Killers is there. Can he get the touch? No, he can't. He's out of boost. TRK was arriving. It was read by Space Station. They take series lead.
Once again, low boost is the detriment of the Falcons, and SSG are taking note of that. They are forcing them to use everything in the tank and then taking it all away from them. The game plan worked. SSG take another win, but more importantly, they take match point.
Chicago, who has seen and done it all pretty much in Rocket League, he must have been thinking, what is going on now after that first game? But to talk his team through, a turnaround in performances like this one has been stunning mental there from Space Station Gaming. And they started it now. I mean, when you got a player playing like LJ, it's much easier to bring yourself back into a series.
I mean, the difference is night and day when a player like LJ is able to step up offensively, when he's able to have the space to musty like this over into a net, and you can see the confidence just shining through. It is so much different for SSG, just vibe-wise, right? And that allows so much more room for confidence, especially against a team like Falcons, because that's what you need, is confidence.
So we've seen on the side of Space Station Gaming that LJ is clearly the man today. He is the one that's demanding that ball, that's going solo, that's got his mechanics working. Who is it going to be for Team Falcons? I mean, Killers has shown signs, but since those first couple of games, they've all gone a little bit flat.
Yeah, honestly, as much as people probably are looking to Killers to, you know, re-step up like we saw in games 1 and 2, right there, that shot is from the player I want to see, TRK. He's been extremely quiet, a little bit more passive than I think his teammates would have liked or are hoping for. I think him getting in on the action could make this team a much more threatening roster in this game 4.
Well, he's watching this one. He goes to the ceiling above the backboard, almost there. Ruas follows up. Killers just has to wait and go back again. It was almost perfect timing from him there. This time it's Killers. TRK in the center. Killers gets the dodge towards the center. So pushes it sideways. Team Falcons have certainly started game 4 better. Maybe refresh themselves mentally. The bump is good, and it's forced in by TRK.
Look, it's the one that I said. He really and truly needs to step up and get in on the action. That's exactly what he did. But that bump from Ruas, just allowing it to waterfall down. But again, TRK, he cheated up, pushed it forward and through, and Falcons take a lead.
I think Ruas actually got a wave dash on the side wall after hitting the ball as well, just
That
to
I didn't
generate
catch.
even more power. Like Sonic the Hedgehog gearing something up and just going a million miles per hour. It's beautiful. And here is Ruas yet again. This time, let's take things slightly more of a slow way. Manages to keep his flip and sends it forward. So, okay, we'll get that one back towards Killers. Falcons looking better again, but Space Station Gaming have been so dangerous on the counter. There's another one to add to the tally.
I gotta give huge props to Hawkser for that setup. I think they knew they wanted to do these big, long interception clears, and Hawkser put himself in such a great position to get that ball handed to him and slotted through Space Station, tie up game 4.
1-1, early doors. The game continues to improve. Hawkser sends that one long. Ruas almost sets up TRK. Looked good for a second, but TRK pulled away, didn't like the idea. Ruas clears it long. Team Falcons would love to just get that ball back in orange territory for a while. It's It's been too long as far as they're concerned since they've had sustained pressure. And a big part of it is because of how quickly Space Station Gaming are clearing the ball away, but that's a poor touch. And it's Killers that scores.
I mean, yeah, it is a poor touch, but it was a forced poor touch. I think Chicago could have been a little bit more powerful with it and forcing that ball through. Obviously, it goes in and Falcons take the lead, but now Space Station looking a little uncomfy on defense, and that's not what you want.
They've not been shaken by a Falcons goal for a few games now, though, Space Station Gaming. Every time they've had one go against them, they've stepped right back up and equalized. Here comes Hoxha trying to keep up that trend up against TRK. Chicago in the corner. Chicago almost gets it towards LJ. That's dangerous. It's risky from Chicago. I like the way Space Station are playing, though, keeping up that confidence. The shot comes in from LJ. It's saved to the corner. Hoxha's in the center. Killers has to try and float towards the ball and manages it, at least for now. Hoxha almost over the top of Killers. This is a good period of play for Space Station Gaming. Looking again more like themselves after conceding. But Team Falcons now playing on the counter themselves, almost get their own opportunity.
Really big clear here too. LJ trying to follow it from the ceiling down. Chicago had shot opportunity, but it got taken away. But Hoxha is going to keep it going. Again, ceiling down, pass denied. Falcons starting to pick up on the patterns of what Space Station was doing to get around them, and now transition through to an almost open net. Ruas to extend the lead.
You don't always need to go for the flip reset. Sometimes it's that final little touch when you're stretching your car that just prods it over the opposition. And if you're as accurate and speedy as Ruas is, it's going to be enough. Team Falcons back 3-1 up.
We got just over half the match left to go. It's a big flick here from Chicago, but TRK manages to still keep this one out. And the Falcons re-find their momentum here. It's a big clear upfield into that net, and TRK stepping up and showing out. Falcons up 4-1.
I mean, it's a nice goal there from Team Falcons. The pass was, it wasn't a pass in the end. Ruas let it go in, but the play was nice. But I'm going to turn my attention yet again to Space Station Gaming, because I'm beginning to notice, as I'm sure we all are, a bit of a trend that when Space Station truly lose momentum in a game, it really gets away from them quickly. They have to arrest that slide right now. We do not want, going into Game 5, another 7-1, an 8-1, something ridiculous, and it's looking like it might become that. That save from Hoxha, even though they're 4-1 down, could be a big one. They have to keep Tool, though, here. Hoxha to the side yet again, doing more great defensive work. Chicago has to get this ball away. They're totally starved, Space Station Gaming. Team Falcons going for the kill. Killers just waiting for that ball. Hoping the challenge will be good enough to get it over the goal line. Space Station Gaming have slowed things down, but yeah, they've definitely got to work on that.
Yeah, this is probably the most they've had room to breathe, and that is definitely going to be a sigh of relief as Chicago puts this one through. He just follows it from one end to the other. Of course, that attempt on a bump there was really, really massive. I don't know if he made complete connection with Kalirs on it, but Space Station closing the gap. But I love what you said about that SSG. One of their faults is that it is so difficult for them to refine momentum once it's lost, and I feel like that is where Falcons thrive. They are able to refine it so many times and just keep going.
Yeah, they never quit, Team Falcons. They never give up. They never change their play style, for better or for worse. Killers wants to get that one towards his teammate. Here comes LJ though on the counter. He's got Ruas in front of him. It's over the top of Ruas, but no one's there. Ruas somehow recovered, got the read from directly beneath the ball, the hardest place to make the save of all. And here he comes again, still got boost. He seems to never be below 20, Ruas. Wave dashing away from that one, trying to chase down Chicago, who just managed to beat into the punch on that occasion. TRK comes in. Ruas has been picking up pads meanwhile. Space Station Gaming still 60 seconds. Chicago's chasing down Ruas. SSG have a chance still.
Yeah, hope isn't gone for them. Not quite yet. 54 seconds is a lot more than 17, so there's definitely still a chance on this one, but you got to get out of your own half. You're air dribbling it low. If you're LJ and a pincher on the corner could give you some signs of life. It's a double tap setter over to Chicago. This one to the backboard could be red here, but it goes from one end to the other. SSG trying to create opportunities desperately as they continue to get taken away.
So close there, Ruas. First he fakes his first touch, then he fakes his flip reset. Could have been a special little goal from him there, but still, Team Falcons have to remain resolute defensively. LJ to the ceiling. Fox is coming in. It's now or never for them. Chicago up against another defender. It's just going to fall to Killers, who should be able to steal enough seconds from this clock to give Team Falcons the game. No, suddenly Hoxer had a chance. Chicago has to sink this, and he doesn't. And finally, we're done. Couple of posters, couple of chances. Didn't matter anyway. 4-2 Falcons.
Oh, man. Well, there you have it. The Falcons, even when faced with a potential loss in round one, say, nope, we keep this going. Game 5, and I actually talked about this with you. I think we might have mentioned it off broadcast, but I said this is either a full sweep from the Falcons or this is actually going full Game 5 between the two. There was no in between.
You were dead on. I mean, after the first game, I know which one I was thinking it was more likely to be. After the 7-0 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that one threw me off too.
The Space Station Gaming have rallied honorably, as have Team Falcons, because Space Station Gaming did seem at times to be frustrating them. But the mechanics came back for Team Falcons. Look at this. Look at the wave dash off the wall for Oas. Gets so much pace, then gets the bump. It's a massive, massive turnaround moment in the series there from Oas. And they went from strength to strength from there.
Yeah, I gotta give credit to TRK. He was the leader as far as scored points were concerned. 531, 6 shots alone from TRK. A huge step up from the, I believe, maybe 1 that we saw in game number 1, maybe a collective 2 between the first 2 games even. So the fact that everyone on the Falcons is now kind of stepped up a bit more offensively, that has just added a new challenge for Space Station to try and defend.
Well, this is what we wanted between these two great teams. Champions Field opens its doors to Falcons and Space Station Gaming. It's been a series that swung wildly from end to end. Which version of these two are we going to see over the next 5 minutes? It's good so far from Falcons. Space Station Gaming, though, nice touch on the save.
This one could go either way. Who's going to put a point on the board first? This one, an attempt to clear out to mid, gets stopped and sent back by Killers. This one left for TRK to take a shot. It's LJ with the save. Dangerously close, more than he would have hoped, and Falcons keep the pressure on.
The last time these two played in London, it went all the way to Game 7. Space Station Gaming attempting the reverse sweep, and they couldn't quite get it. Falcons winning that Game 7. And now here we are, history almost repeating itself. It wasn't quite a reverse sweep, but it seemed like it would have to be after that first game was so dominant for Falcons. And here they find themselves on the cusp of another long, tough series. They can just reach out and claim it. Space Station Gaming, LJ, up against Killers. Killers chain dashes his way around the corner, gets too much from the ball, unfortunately. Now it's TRK. It's got a little bit low boost here from Falcons, but that one will spawn well. He gets demoed, but I'm sure he'll take that, teeing up his teammate. It's well cleared again from Space Station Gaming, who have to ferry away. Huge amounts of pressure early doors here.
Lots of pressure indeed, and the fact that it has been consistent from SSG is a great sign. Hoxer from the ceiling tries to center this one down over to LJ, but it's a great read there from, I believe it was TRK, and the clear comes through. Falcons once again on transition.
Killers is just waiting for this clearance. Chicago got an awkward touch on his own back wall there, which left him in a bit of a no man's land, and from that play, Team Falcons are still continuing to hammer down the door. Just look at the pace of them. Still they come forward. Chicago waits a second. You can't afford to do that against Team Falcons. There's one. It's Killers.
You take, you give, and, well, Falcons claim all at this point. Oh my goodness, the pure patience, and then allowing this one to be left. Killers just floating this one through. 1-0 for Falcons.
And it's been a dream start here in Game 5 for Team Falcons. Space Station Gaming have to step themselves right back up. All eyes turn towards LJ. Is he able to conjure up just a little bit more magic from that bag of tricks? Not yet. First, Space Station Gaming will need the ball. Here's Killers, again trying to race around that corner, but LJ was alert to it, and now he has a chance. 36 boost. Hoxer in the center, wants to get it towards his teammate. Ruas just intercepts the two of them, teeing up Killers, who can't quite get around Chicago.
And that's what I gotta commend Falcons on, is how patient they've been on that back third, waiting for SSG to work together to get past them defensively. It's the patient game that is really paying off here. Half the game left to go officially. Could this be a second lead? No, not quite. It's another save from Chicago and the clear from Hoxer.
Team Falcons, who have been all the way to a grand final here in London, here in the Copper Box. This will be the start of a new long journey. They can just continue to see things through against Space Station Gaming, but Space Station Gaming have yet again stepped up after conceding. Normally conceding one, they're okay. Once it's a couple, they'll collapse. To avoid that happening, Chicago to the side. Killers just yet again waiting. Never a missing amount of patience for Team Falcons in their attack. TRK into the center. Ruas has a chance, and Chicago can't quite save it. It's 2.
Oh, this one, I had a feeling it was coming, and it was namely because Hawkster went up for that challenge on extremely next to nothing boost, which in turn forced Chicago into a very awkward situation. Falcons saw it, took advantage, and they go up 2-0.
Space Station Gaming, a key period in this game and in this series. We've seen it before so far. 2 turns to 3, then 4. They cannot allow that to happen on this occasion. Chicago's beaten by TRK. The ball is loose. Who's going to win the race to it? Who's going to be first to dare go to it? It is Chicago, rotating back. LJ gets a bite of the ball on the way, and Chicago has a chance now to do something with it. Hoxer going for a bump. Not going to happen. It's going to fall to LJ. Is anyone in the center there for him? Who wants this ball? Who's demanding it? It's Hoxer. It's over him. Chicago a chance to shoot. Needs a bump to help him. No, he doesn't. He follows it up himself. Space Station shows signs of life.
Patience pays off. You saw it. It was Hoxer that almost delayed everything just a bit, and then it gave Chicago all the time in the world to decide where he wanted to place that ball, and it was just through the defense. Space Station now with just a 1-goal deficit have time to try and tie things up on Champs Field.
Fake kickoff was nice. Chicago's touch not ideal though. And Team Falcons, they turn it around so quickly.
Just the in-time caster curse, the chance to turn things around, while in turn Falcons take things back and extend it. Reminiscent of Game 4, reminiscent of Game 3. They look so clean and confident, and off the kickoff an attempt to do it again.
Yeah, another fake kickoff there. This time doesn't fall quite as cleanly for Space Station Gaming. And again, they could be countered by it. In comes Killers. TRK is refusing to leave the play. He's bumped out the way by LJ in the end. Get out of here, he says. Chicago into the center for LJ. Chicago desperate for some boost. He's made 1 or 2 errors so far in the last couple of minutes, and it looks like he is keen to make up for those. He wants this ball, but it's being cleared long again. LJ has to go to his own backboard. Can't read the psycho either. Falls to Hoxer. One more chance for Hoxer, maybe. Chicago's clearing a path. Can Hoxer get over the top? No, not on this occasion. 35 left.
34 seconds, a clear attempt to the backboard, a shot taken and missed. As you say, the Falcons just continue to remain tried, true, and strong on defense. LJ up next, another touch to try and leave it back, but Killers and Ruas working in tandem to keep this ball consistently out of their side.
Falcons protecting what they have. Here's Chicago, pinches it to the back wall, but it's won by Ruas, and that may well be the moment. Hox is running out of time. LJ gets a beautiful touch, though. Ruas has to stay alert all the way to the last, but it is going to be enough. A marathon Game 5 ends almost with a flourish. It does not matter as Falcons take the victory. I would say that from Falcons, there were definite weaknesses that we saw there, and Space Station Gaming did excellent to expose those weaknesses at times. But when the train gets rolling from Falcons, it's borderline unstoppable.
Oh, exactly. And there is one reason for that. Falcons are probably one of the most adaptive teams you will see on LAN. They know how to correct those mistakes in real time in the game. They're not even waiting from one game to the next. They're waiting from a minute to a minute. And that's what makes them so scary. But I gotta do a little shout out over to TRK. I was wanting him to step up, and once he did, Falcons became so much more threatening to SSG.